Happy New Year, everybody. Yay, 2021 is here. I just wanted to welcome everybody into a great year. We're not going to talk about what happened last year. We're going to just focus on this year. And part of what I've been doing in my classroom is just really focusing on positivity and not allowing the kids to groan about how our situation is leaving us. And we just talk about we're just going to live with the way we are. And we're going to just live in the present. One of the things that I've done for years with my kids is have them set goals for the semester, and I have them track their goals. And I'm sharing this with you because you might want to help your kids also track their goals. I find I've used this in all middle school. It might work in high school. I'm not sure. It would probably for sure work in upper elementary school. But it's a way for kids to track their own progress. And so I'm just going to explain it to you. If you feel like this is something that you would actually like to have, just message me and I'd be happy to send you a link. So what this is I just did this week with my students. Is we first had to set up our goal. And that's up here. That's in the green box. And this is our goal range. And I tell my students, what grades are acceptable to you? Is a B minus acceptable to you, or are you only okay with a B plus? And how high do you expect your grades to be? Is an A minus the best that you think you can do, or do you really think you can get an A plus and go for a 98%? And sometimes I'll have kids say, you know what, Mrs. Wilkins, if I don't fail, I'm great. So then I have them kind of narrow that down. What does that mean? Is a C minus the lowest you want to go? And that's usually, I have not had a child ever tell me they want to get less than a C minus. But then I try to push them, well, is it okay if you get a B minus? And so I kind of have them give that range. So whatever it is, I have them write that right up here. So I'm going to write 85% to, we'll say 95%. So I have them set that goal for themselves, and it's right at the top. And this is a header. If you know anything about documents, it's going to show up on any page that I have on here. And then this is for my ELA class, so English Language Arts. And so over here, I have a pages read goal. I don't know if there's any language arts teacher out there who doesn't want your kids to read on a regular basis. But if your teacher doesn't set a reading goal for you, or if they don't expect a reading account, I always think it's a good idea to have your students just say, even if they're not readers, especially if they're not readers, just have them set a pages read per week goal. And so if I run across my students who, I never read, and I say, well, what about just 10 pages a week? And so I try to get them to set that minimum, and we're going to say this is an okay reader, and we'll say 50 pages per week. So they set those page goals up right here. And then now this is set from my school schedule. And it's geared towards mine. If you decide that you would like for me to send this to you, this is you can change this to whatever you want. This is completely editable when I send it to you. And so what I have them do is once a week, and I do this the very first day that I meet them, the very first thing that when we're in person, they walk through the door and they do this. But as soon as they hop on to my Zoom call, I have them open up their grade, whatever grade system your school is using, and I have them record their grade. Now, I like to have them record their grade in to 100%. And the reason I do that is because sometimes a student will get everything except they'll skip a homework assignment. And if they skip a homework assignment because it's not worth that many points, they can still see to the 100% that their grade has gone down. This is really good for high achievers, by the way, for them to see their grade go down, and they usually don't like that. But what it's really good for also is for those low kids who just don't turn in their work. I have to tell you, my favorite kids to work with on this particular assignment is kids who actually are failing or having a D and are really working with me to move up. This works really well with them because what I can do is they'll record their grades, and then they'll do an assignment and they'll think it's not that big of a deal, and I'll go in and I'll put their assignment in, and they go, and maybe they're at like like a 56.72%, whatever. Okay. And it's an F and it feels heavy, but they do something and all of a sudden it's at a 57%. Now it's still an F. If we were just to focus on the F or the 57 or the 56 or whatever, doing one assignment doesn't mean anything, but if you go out to the decimal percent, they can see it go up. I always celebrate, even for the S. And like I said, that's my favorite student to work with, especially with this, because we can cheer it. Look, it's still an F, but who cares? You went up 3%. And so I really like working with this on a weekly basis. And so I have them put the grades. The teacher writes here, that could be you. You could initial as a parent. You can initial that. If you're a teacher, you can just initial it as well. And then they put their pages read last week. This is also a tracking device for them. Let's say they read 67 pages last week. And then you can congratulate them. If I were to go through and I'd say, hey, your goal was 50 and now it's 67, good job. And you can tell in a couple weeks if they set their goal at 50 and they're continuously up above that 50 goal, it's always good to say, hey, would you like to reset your goal? And usually they do. So in the beginning, when they're setting their goals, they may not believe in themselves or they may not know what they're capable of. And you can always adjust it. I always like to adjust their goals higher if I see that they're continually reaching them. So over here in the notes, this is like gold. This is what I do with the kids who have a lot of missing assignments. I have them put here. So they might type, I am missing 3 assignments. And then I have them tell me which assignments they're missing. I didn't spell that correctly. I have them type over there what assignments they're missing. Oops. Here, oh my. Okay, and then I have them list specifically what the assignment is. I don't know what's happening here, but then I have the students list what the assignment is that they're missing, and they have to list it out. And now this isn't too difficult. They go to the grading system, they just copy and paste whatever it is. But I have them listed out because next week, if they're still missing, now let's say they're missing 4 assignments, I have them still list the same 3 assignments that they're missing here. They can copy and paste and put it down here. But then I can talk to them. I can have a conversation with them and say, hey, look, you're missing the same assignment. Don't you think it's about ready that we get this in? And so it's just a tracking system for them. And it keeps them on, like I said, on track before they get too far behind. And so I'd be happy to answer any questions for you. I'd happy to sit down and talk with you and your child if that's what you would like. But like I said, this is definitely one of my favorite things to do with kids at the very beginning of the semester. And I've even had students, I had a couple 8th graders a couple years ago ask me for extra copies so they can use it in another classroom. So they liked it so much that they wanted to use it beyond what I was doing in my classroom, and they wanted to do it with other teachers or at other classrooms, whether or not they had the teacher initial it or not. So this is definitely something that kids, especially kids who need that organization and tracking, have appreciated. And I just wanted to share with you. So have a great week, have a great year, and I'll talk to you soon.